Hello, I am marching band drill designer Robert Harris, and this is a quick step-by-step video and overview of the Pyware 3D Viewer app for both iOS devices and Android. The demonstration will be done on an iPad, but I believe the apps are very similar across both platforms. So I'm going to go ahead and open the 3D Viewer. Here on the screen, you see numerous icons. I'm going to start first on the top right here with our load and import button. If you're one of my clients, you've already received directions on how to do the actual import of the drill. So if you had already done that, it would show up right here. I'm going to go ahead and just click this core style sample drill written by a great drill writer named Craig Harms. I'm going to go ahead and load Craig's drill here. All right. So on the screen now we see set one of this sample drill. Now just to do a basic overview of the screen, on the main part of the screen we see the field and performers. I'll go over some basic controls on how we can manipulate that here in a moment. On the right hand side we have that load import button. Underneath that we have the spotlight, the spotlight performer button. Below that we can view our cast list or production sheet, and then we have our settings here as well. On the very bottom, we have a timeline that takes us through the show, and then directly underneath that, we have the timeline controls. Okay, so we're going to go basically through everything very quickly, just to give you an overview. Okay, first, to manipulate the screen, it's very intuitive, just like most other applications on a touchscreen device. I can pinch to zoom and zoom out. If I hold two fingers and slide up and down, I can tilt. I can also turn, which is really great if you're a performer and your director allows you to have your device on the field. You can be looking in performer view, which is can be very helpful. And I'm going to turn this back around here. Okay, so let's go over down here on the timeline. So we see our set list and counts here underneath, and we see the red control markers on the left. Now on the very bottom we see set one and measures. There's no measures because it's opening set. Then we have our skip back button, followed by our fast rewind, our play, our fast forward, our skip forward, our loop, and our playthrough buttons. So right now the playthrough button is selected, so if I were to click play, the entire show or the entire song, the selection will play straight through. Okay. If I wanted to look at just, let's say, set 6 to 7, if I skip forward, I can skip forward to just from 6 to 7. I want to click off of the playthrough, or because if I hit play, it'll go back to the beginning. So I can just play this section. I can skip ahead by hitting fast forward. Can skip ahead pretty quickly. I'll go ahead and stop it there. All right, so the basic timeline controls are fairly simple to understand. You see there are no measures listed. The sample drill didn't have measures uploaded with it. Yours, however, should have measures as well. Okay, let's go over to the left-hand side momentarily to go ahead and see what we have here. All right, so directly under our load import button was our spotlight performer button. I can select a performer. Let's say I am clarinet 10. If I select clarinet 10, I will have a spotlight on me for the entire show. Okay. Now you'll also see at the very top what appeared once I selected him here. I'll switch to clarinet 8, so you can see it change. Performer C8, back to C10. My coordinates are at the top for set 1. When I click play, what's really neat is that every count, it's going to change my coordinates so I know exactly where I'm supposed to be on count 9 of the move. So that's our spotlight performer. We can go ahead and change depending on who we are or what we want to look at if we're a director. Okay, next we're going to look at our cast list or production button, which is directly underneath the spotlight. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. The production sheet just lists your sets. It would list your measures and transitions as well. I'm going to go over and click on the cast list. Right now it's giving me the performer coordinates for the person that I have lit up with the spotlight. If I click back here on the cast list, I see my entire list. Maybe I am performer A3. So I'll click A3, There are my entire there's my coordinate sheet for the entire number. I'm going to go ahead and click back over on the right to make that go away. And there I am, A3 over here. So I am able to look at my coordinates, change performers in that list as well. Now, the very last button here on the right-hand side is our settings. I'm going to go ahead and click that settings button. You'll see here that we'll start at on the left and work our way over. Our timeline zoom, we can, if you look at the bottom on the timeline, we see we're able to zoom in and zoom back out. I like to have it zoomed out. I like to see big picture in that aspect most of the time. We can change our playback speed and the playback smoothness. If you have a newer version of an iPad or a newer Android phone or a new iPhone and the processor enables it to be smoother, you can move it up. If you've got an older device, you can move it down just so that your device is able to handle it. All right, moving over, we see flat, contrast, and surface. Here, I'll zoom out over here so we can really see what this does. I can turn on this contrast, which is nice if you're out in the sun. This might not look as good, but it helps us quite a bit. We can go the old school, what the real view used to look like in Pyware, and then we have the surface, which is a realistic view of the field. Solo. If I click on solo, my performer that had the spotlight is now the only performer on the field until I change it back to ensemble. I can show the grid of the field, a step-by-step grid. I can take my timeline away if I'd like. I can take my clicking away. Some really, really nice settings so that you can personalize your experience to best suit you. Okay, I hope this play-by-play of the Pyware 3D Viewer app is helpful for you as a director or for you as a student. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or contact your director. Thank you very much.